Hello everyone and welcome back to Gent Watches. Today we are going to be continuing with Call of the Night. This will be episode 9. So last episode, we got introduced to a new character, Mahiru, I believe his name was, and he is a delightful, just a really pleasant guy. Seems like, the sort of guy I'd aspire to be. He just seems like a really cool guy. And also we had Ko sort of struggling with the idea of I should be taking Nazuna on dates and stuff because maybe that'll help me fall in love faster, and also the fact that if he doesn't fall in love in time, he's probably gonna die. So so yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on there. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I think this show has done a good job at sort of changing it up and keeping me on my toes. I feel like I hope this episode isn't another episode of just them not really doing anything, them just hanging out in town. I do hope there's some progression of some sort in some department. I hope there's something more overarching happening in this episode, because I think we're right about reaching the point where I feel like they're gonna need to throw some more spanners in the works, or at least turn a few of the screws that they've already put in place, but regardless, I'm excited to do it. So we're gonna get into it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video, and also my Patreon account has exclusive videos, full-length reactions, and early access. So go check that out. If you do, I'll give you a kiss on the cheek. That's as far as I'll go. Kiss on the cheek. Okay, here we go. This is Call of the Night, episode 9. Wow, that was a quick intro. I think we might know everyone in this intro now. I think. Yeah, I think I recognized all of them. Leave her alone. Yeah, when they get clingy. Leave him alone. Oh! Yeah, she's fine. Jesus. That's a good point. It's almost, she kind of reminds me of Gamo from Nagatoro. Where I don't know why. He's an understanding guy. Aww. Aw, she should have come along. That would have been fun. Yeah, that's not something you want to be saying too much to humans. Aww. Damn, they're animating her, well, giving her a cool art. They're really focusing on her art a lot. They're not doing any singing. I want to see the singing. We're just seeing the instrumentals. That's he did the equivalent of Total Eclipse of the Heart, I guess. I wish we heard it. Oh, that's sweet. What the heck? Oh, is this the dude who's been texting? Dragos? That's all it
タ
took.
イプは構ってもらうことが全てだから、適当に笑って流してくれたらいいんだよ。
What these angles they're giving her are strange. They're not quite fan service because we're not really seeing anything, but
面倒になったら殺せばいいんだよ。人間が吸血鬼に殺されるのは仕方ないだろ。
oh my god.
私らには通用しない。違う。そんな話はしていない。
Wow, this color scheme is so strange.
話し合える人の目じゃねえ。
His eyes?
ほら、
Really?
面倒なんだよ、こうなると。パパッと殺しちゃって忘れるのが一番簡単。
Oh my god. Whoa! Ko?
何？ダメだ。
君も死んじゃうよ。
Oh my gosh.
ダルオさん。ダルオ走るよ。なんで？いいから走れ。僕はセリちゃんにどう？あれ？ただのめんどくさい人。
Yeah, he's just a sad dude.
あなたの悩みを。まっとうな恋愛感情。
Okay. Man, there's a lot to take in right now. Wow, these eye catches, I love them.
でも元カノに対する感情を今思い返すと、
Oh,
ちょっと異常だったなって思うこともあるよ。
right.
に会話ができなくなるなんて気持ち悪いもんね。
そうかな。
Hey, getting over a breakup is tough. Even when you're healed from it, sometimes you're not
酔って転んだ
completely
僕に
healed.
声をかけたんであって。
And you have
そこ
insecurities
に特
based
別
on
な意
it.
味はなかったんだと思う。一番仲がいい人でもない。
That's for sure.
愛さえすれば。
Hmm.
ただ会ってない時間がそう思うと止まらなくなって。
I think I have a decent amount to say
冷静に考えれば
about this, but I can't say it
考
now.
えすぎのネガティブな思考に陥っただけのものだし。
She said she was gonna kill you, dude.
悪口っていうのは。
やっと見つけた。適当なこと言ってくれちゃってんね。
セリちゃん。
Uh-oh.
殺す。
Oh god.
そのままの意味だけど。ごめんね。
Oh, he's
君
calling
のことずっと騙してたけど、私
calling what's her name?
人間
Nazuna?
じゃないの。
セリちゃん、何を言って。
わかんなくてもいいよ。もう殺しちゃうから。
ダメだ。
あ？
殺させない。
Oh my gosh. And he's called
じゃあヤモリ君から。
It's so interesting that he like called Nazuna. Oh. It's like turning on the bat signal. Okay.
なあセリ、お前にとってこのメガネ君は何なんだ
Yeah.
私はあっくんを眷属にするつもりもなく、なんとなく時々会ってたんだよ。
Mm-hmm.
あ、僕です。秋山と言います。
Akiyama.
あ、どうも、ヤモリです。でも、吸血鬼は眷属を増やすために人と接触するんでしょ。なんでダルオさんとは。
Mr. Drago.
退屈なんだよ。
So you made a friend.
誰に言えばいいんだ。あ、今押せばこいつ私のこと好きになるなって。疲れちゃった。ナズナ。
See, Nazuna
手からどいてくんない。何もしない。
Nazuna's kind of doing what she wants. But vampires in this world seem to have to live purely for romance and offspring, which kind of sucks.
もう会うのやめよう。あっくん。
Aww. You guys can still be friends. It's okay. Vampires can have friends.
俺ってセリさんの方が超めんどくせえじゃん。友達でいるのが楽しくて、その関係を崩したくないから殺す。超毒素めんどくさい。
なんだこれ。
だからせめて似た者同士、友
Yeah.
達として話してからでもいいんじゃない？
Aww.
あれはかなり異例なんだ。普通は許されない。私たち吸
I
血
actually really like this storyline right
人間
now.
との友情は成立しないんだ。
Oh, this is so cute.
今日でバイバイ。
Oh. You don't want to say goodbye, and that's okay. You don't have to.
セリちゃん
友達やめたくないよ
Oh.
すごい楽しかったんだよ
ありがとう。そうなの？楽しかった。
Then keep going.
好きになっちゃった。あなたの眷属にしてください。
いいの
でも大丈夫。
Aww.
吸血鬼なんだろう。人間の都合なんて無視してくれよ。
Wow, is this dude gonna become the first vampire we see become a vampire in the show?
こうくんずるいとか思ってんだろどこに
眷属祝いのカラオケに決まってんだろ
どうも、眷属の秋山です。
Does he know? Like, how does he feel it? What happens? How does this work? Oh, and Nazuna came to karaoke. Oh my god, it's a double date now.
ちょっといいの。こういうの。
Take your feet off the table, Nazuna.
何この古い曲
Oh, I really liked that. Okay, you know what? I said at the start that I was hoping that this episode wasn't just gonna be them like, you know, going around in town and hanging out and stuff. And it wasn't. And this was actually, I thought this was a really good episode. I really, really enjoyed it. Especially since I wasn't sold on Seri as a character. I mean, I didn't mind her, but I didn't really like her. I don't think I liked her. I could tolerate her. But now I think I like her. Now I think I'm on board. I like the way they took her character. And how, you know, we sort of see her as a person who is on the brink, who is struggling with the vampire lifestyle a little bit, you know, who is good at it and good at seducing people and stuff, but yeah, is doesn't really like the way that it makes her feel right now. I think it's very interesting, and I like the way they do it. Now the reason I mentioned near the start of the episode that she reminds me of Gamo from Nagatoro. So if you haven't read or watched Nagatoro, I have both read and watched Nagatoro. I read the entire manga, or you know, as much was out right before the anime came out, and then I watched the entire anime. I quite like Nagatoro. I think that's a really fun and cute manga and anime. If you haven't seen it, or if you have and don't really remember, Nagatoro is about, you know, a girl who teases this guy a lot. It starts, the first episode or two of the anime, in the first few chapters of the manga are actually just she bullies him, but later it's just cute teasing. And so this girl basically teases this guy constantly, and then it's this romantic comedy thing where the guy learns to be more confident and the girl learns to dial back her teasing and come to terms with her own feelings, and they become more and more couple-like as the series goes on. Anyway, the friend in Nagatoro is called Gamo, and she's this orange-haired girl who is kind of very seemingly harsh and she likes to take things a little bit further. So the reason I compared her Seri to Gamo is because Seri in the show seems to be, you know, she's got her own stuff going on, but she sees Ko and she like jumps towards Ko and tries to like get in there because she sees what Ko and Nazuna have. And, you know, I think in a way is jealous of that, and also, you know, it's like she can sort of express herself more to Ko because he knows about all the vampire stuff and isn't a vampire, and so it's like, you know, it's like she can sort of in a way make friends with him, but Nazuna is like, hey, hands off. He's mine. Like, that's the whole thing. Which, that reminds me of Nagatoro, because Nagatoro and Gamo, like, there's times when Gamo will continue to tease like tease Senpai more and more and more and more. And like eventually Nagatoro will just be like, hey, stop, like this is my dude, this is my prey, you know, like step back a little bit. And so yeah, and anyway, I think also, you know, she might be a fusion of like Gamo and I think Sakura is her name in Nagatoro as well, who is like a, you know, someone who seduces a lot of people and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, might be a mix of those two. Anyway, it's not a great comparison. It was just one I had in my head, and she, you know, kind of has that Gamo face as well. Maybe that's another reason. I want to talk about Akiyama, because Akiyama, introduced in this episode, I don't know if we're ever going to see him again. I hope we at least see him once again. I don't need him to be a main character. I just want to see him like once again. But I mean, he was actually quite a good character, because his actions in the first half of the episode, not great. You know, he was definitely being overbearing and creepy and weird. However, I will say I empathize with him after hearing his story, and this is the reason that, you know, I'm a big proponent of like give people a chance, let people reform themselves. We are not always seeing people in their best light, at their best. After hearing him talk about things and hearing his whole perspective on the stuff, it doesn't make the actions right, and it's not even like they were right in his eyes necessarily. It makes me understand that this is a low point for him, and so I can be more understanding of we're witnessing someone's low point, and as long as he understands the mistake that he made, and you know, no one is extra truly hurt by it, then we can move on and forgive that person. Because yeah, he was talking about, you know, like he sort of implied he had a relationship, and because he said my girlfriend, and then he stopped himself and went my ex-girlfriend. So the implication with that line is, you know, that he's used to being in this tradition of like he was with this girl. I assume he got broken up with, but even if he did the breakup, maybe it's still hard for him to break out of that pattern. And the thing is, like, it's this life that he was used to having. I think, like, you know, I'm going off of personal experiences here, because I know when I went through my breakup, I think for the most part I generally handled it pretty well, but I will say that like I didn't like the person that I was after the breakup for a while. And like I was in this sort of very weird place where like I don't think I did anything wrong. I don't think I was, you know, I was definitely not doing anything like in this episode. I don't think I was being creepy to anyone or anything, but I do think, you know, I might have been more harsh to people. I might have like acted more jealous for a lot of people. There were definitely some things that I had to reflect on a little bit and improve upon in my life. And yeah, that's a moment of shame for me, like a significant part of my life. Well, not a significant part of my life. That is a very small part of my life that I will remember, you know, shamefully and sadly and stuff. But that's the thing. It's a dark period. It's you were in something so comfortable for so long, and once that shatters, you have to pick up the pieces. And I think sometimes you pick up all the sharp pieces and keep cutting yourself, you know? Like, picking up the pieces of your personality is very difficult. It's difficult to, like, once your vision, your ideal view of yourself has been shattered, which that can tend to do. It can shatter your self-confidence for a long time. Once that is shattered, it's hard to find the parts of yourself that you like that are worth keeping around, that that's really difficult. And the problem is, when you don't like yourself, you kinda like, you're less likely to be as good a person, you know, like, because if you really don't like yourself, a lot of the time when you do stuff that is not great, then you'll just think of it as, well, that's because I'm a piece of shit. But if you have some respect for yourself and then you do something bad, you can go, what? I did not like that part of myself. And you can hopefully, with self-reflection, which is a very important thing to build up, it's a very important skill to build up, you can hopefully separate that part from your personality. Not saying it's easy, it's definitely not easy, but that's what you have to do. So I liked this storyline for that, because Akiyama, it seems like that's the thing he's going through at this point. And he said to her at the end, like, I'm sorry, you needed a certain thing and I fell in love and I couldn't handle this and I did this wrong. And he was self-reflecting, and it turns out they do need each other. But even if they had to go their separate ways, then if they both learned something about themselves from each other, then it still would have been just as beautiful. But anyway, I think if a show can get me to do that much discussion and bring out me talking about personal things like that, pretty solid, I would say. So good job, Call of the Night. I was sort of batting against you a little bit in my intro by saying that you had to impress me a little bit, and you did. I really liked this episode, and it helped that there was like a tiny bit of action in there, like that was fun. I really liked that. I also like using the watch to call Nazuna. It's really cool. I hope they do that sort of stuff more often. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode of Call of the Night. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. And also just to support this channel. If you stuck around this long, hopefully you do really want to help out the channel. I would be so appreciative. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.